Hello kids, here is your review for your AP U.S. History test that we'll be having on Wednesday, March 2nd on crisis and compromise in the United States. We talked about a lot of important issues. We talked about the issue of slavery in detail, especially in the lands that we acquired from Mexico. We talked about the admittance of Missouri into the Union with the Missouri Compromise, the Tallmadge Amendment. We talked about the Compromise of 1850. We talked about several political elections during this time. We talked about the Kansas-Nebraska Act. We talked about bleeding Kansas. We talked about secession from the Union and Abraham Lincoln's inaugural address that will lead us into Civil War. But here are the specifics I would know for this multiple choice test that we're going to have Wednesday. I would know the roles of the following people in our lectures: Henry Clay, John Tallmadge, John C. Calhoun, Stephen Douglas, President James Polk, David Wilmot, Lewis Cass. I would also know in detail the election of 1848 and the election of 1860. You need to know political parties represented, candidates represented, any special circumstances that occurred during the elections, and final results. So make sure you concentrate on the election of 1848 and 1860. Another thing that would be important to know is the Tallmadge Amendment and what it stated. Also, the Compromise of 1850 that was established and introduced by Henry Clay. The items that the Compromise stated. Make sure you know those as well. Also know the Kansas-Nebraska Act, including who initiated that act and why. Know about the territory of Kansas, why it became known as Bleeding Kansas, what happened there that instilled in violence and results of that violence and key personalities in the violence in Kansas. Know about secession from the Union, the first state that seceded, other states that followed. Know about the temporary government of the Confederate States of the United States, where it was located, who they elected president, those types of things. Make sure you understand Lincoln's inaugural address and the important points that he stressed in that, and the events at Fort Pickens and Fort Sumter, which led us to Civil War. Again, this test will be Wednesday, March 2nd. We'll report to the Commons. We will lecture tomorrow, which is March 1st, and we will have the test Wednesday. Make sure you are prepared, and I wish you the best of luck. So let's get to studying here.